reckoned with in the gospel music industry. She is a multiple award-winning artist, a powerhouse vocal person, and a woman whose music has touched hearts across the world. Now, from hit songs like Adom to Monio, she has used her voice not to just entertain, but also minister and uplift lives. Beyond the stage, she is also a devoted wife, a mother, and a true inspiration to many. With a career spanning years of excellence, of grace, of unwavering faith, she continues to set the standard in the Ghanaian gospel music scene. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leaderboard Series, and tonight I have the pleasure to host the ever graceful Diana Hamilton. Before she speaks, this is my current favorite song of hers. I'm speaking to the ever graceful Diana Hamilton. Her voice always so melodious, and she came with her family too. So beautiful to have her here. We'll get talking. I'm sure that you can't wait to hear all that she has to share with us. Lady D.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on.
Yeah.
What to say?
Nyamiadum, Pachonswe.
Nyamiadum. Me who did say Abela Bano.
Hey, Abela was kind. Wow.
Nostalgic, right?
I know.
Now did you Afro Quanta?
Abela was. I mean, Yana Cassidy, but vanilla and milk powder now come on.
Nisha so manom beti ase.
No, they have no.
Yeah, mom tribe you the custard, kakra, condensed milk.
All that thing you guys had when we were coming, when we bought in Linda though, that chocolatey thing, the closest thing to it, and that different thing. Yeah, ice cream. But said no, popsicles. You might call it that. Yeah, I believe it was.
I want to say.
I'm
my person. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's take it back to the whole beginning, all right? Before you became the Diana Hamilton that the whole world knows, what was growing up like for you? A little bit throwback to life in Afro Quanta. We've heard you speak about it a couple of times, but now what to say, now I will to say, and Afro Quanta of all the places.
I know, right? My papa called school. My father grew up in Afro Quanta. My father went to St. Paul's.
Okay.
But when I lived in Afro Quanta, I didn't live with my parents. I lived with my grandmother, which is my father's parents, mom and dad, and then my father's sisters and his brothers. And so yes, I happened to live there because my father was a missionary. Well, he was a pastor of the Church of Pentecost, and his first station was in the Volta region. And my father brought me to my grandmother to look after me while because he was taken to like a remote area. Schools weren't great then. And so he needed me to be in a school and plus it was a new place. And so he only went with my brother who was then freshly born.
Okay.
And then he left the rest of us to live with people.
Okay.
So that's how come I lived in Africa with my grandmother.
Okay.
She was a farmer and a trader.
Okay.
And so Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, taking farming seriously, she was a trader at Kumasi Jum.
Oh.
And they used to sell cosmetics. And then a few days she would go to Kwanguma to go farm. Achuma Kwanguma to go farm. But I was quite shielded. I never went to the farm. Truth be told, she never took me to the farm, but I knew she went to farm.
Any special reason why?
She never took me.
Okay. But your other siblings had the opportunity
well,
to
it was just myself and my cousin that lived with my grandmother.
Okay.
My other siblings lived with other people.
Okay.
Eunice lived with her family in Abelenque in Accra.
Okay.
Victoria was with my auntie at Abripo Junction.
Okay.
And then I was with my grandmother.
So you guys were not even seeing each other as siblings that often?
No, we didn't actually. We thinking about it, we didn't really
have that
live
siblings
together.
bond.
Oh, we have a great siblings bond.
But I mean, from infancy.
From infancy, we were scattered.
Okay.
Education was of much importance to my father, and so he would rather let us live with her. So I lived with my grandmother in Africanta because then I went to Christian Preparatory. Victoria lived in Abepo Junction for a bit, and then later she was sent to my parents in the Volta region. Eunice was in Accra in Abilinkwe because she went to Morning Star earlier on. And so yes, I was my grandmother. There was love. There wasn't money, but there was love. And my auntie was a trader at Kumasi Jom Gate in Anohoda. He had a small cosmetic shop there. Along the line, that I think they lost their shop, and then she was sent into Kumasi Jom inside. She changed her trade, whatever she was selling. But like I said, there was love. I wasn't maltreated with my grandmother. But we lived in a compound house, so I knew what it felt like to live in a compound house. And I had friends, and we went to church, and my grandfather taught me a lot.
Okay.
So yeah.
Who was Diana growing up? You know, there are quiet kids, there are extrovert kids. Your daughter is looking at you.
But I was what I remember people used to say was, well, my grandmother, actually, my aunties, almost me and Penny.
I'm sure back then,
Nope, I was Diana.
Oh.
I was Diana. My grandmother was Diana, and I was named after her.
Right.
So I was Diana from childhood. Once in a while, I was Mommy because my grandmother was Mommy.
Right. Out of respect for her.
And so, but I was Diana, and she was Abena Amponsa. So that's where the Amponsa came in. I think I owned the Amponsa later on in life.
Right.
But pre that, I was Diana Entry for a while. Then I became Diana Entry Bwesiako, and then got married later on and became Diana Entry Hamilton.
Your dad has a lot of prestige. Your dad's name carries a lot of weight. For those of us that were privileged to be in the Church of Pentecost, we grew up, we heard Asolenchi Dimpa. At the time when you were about, let's say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, before your teens, did you know the value of...
He wasn't that big then.
Okay.
When I was 6, when I say he wasn't that big, I don't even know what definition of big was, but when I was taken to my grandmother, that was his first station in the Volta region. That was when he had become overseer, Felix Elvis Entry. And I was with my grandmother for 5 years. So I went to my grandmother when I was 2. And so for 5 years, which means I was 7. And then when my grandmother passed, so I was there with her for 5 years, and then he was brought to Greater Accra, Newtown, as a district pastor.
Okay.
It was one would say it was in Greater Accra that he started holding these crusades.
Okay.
He was an evangelist. So that's when one would say he started picking up. And at that time, so 2 added to that 7, I was 9. So when I was about 10, that's when they brought me to him in Accra. My grandmother then passed. And then I was sent back to my parents because she wouldn't let me, because I was named after her. She wanted to take care of me. So it was when I came to Newtown. Yes, he was Pastor Entry. What I knew was anybody that knew him loved him. Was he big? No. But wherever he was,
he made a difference.
Then he went to Sierra Leone for 6 years. And so at that time, he was, he wasn't known. So one would say it was when he became an executive member that then internationally and nationally he was known. So by the time he was Apostle Felix Elvis Entry, I was
no, when you
yeah.
Anyway, let me remind all of you that we are streaming live. Auntie Dinah and Oshe Atari Blue Bee. Your training more experience.
And mama you do my conditioner.
If you free it to me, but vim ewu na say Atari no size amba and the channel no ajesemeji. So get our Facebook page right now at Y102.5 FM. Please get to our Facebook page. I'll be reading some of your comments out to her. I want to know what you think about our interview. And of course, if you have any questions for Auntie Dinah, feel free, drop them there. Now, you've had a very remarkable journey in the gospel scene. But before we veer into that, what's your most beautiful memory of Afro Nkwanta that you treasure so much? So much. One particular memory from Afro Nkwanta, you can't ever forget that.
I have the vision of Afro Nkwanta. Would I call it beautiful?
Okay, any memory that anytime anybody speaks about Afro Nkwanta and I would Afro Nkwanta in news that me in
the house. The house I lived in. My walk to Amrejom. Gen
Z funny there. Memories been on Beshe.
That's a very boring life. Yeah. You know, crow Afro Nkwanta, but me crow and soda. Because I wasn't a beautiful memory. No.
It's if I would crow them still here.
Yeah, bitter. Me crow and so.
Are they? Now ingredients ne mix.
Okay, so whilst people bought, you know, these little coal pots, but
round.
I had to do stones and try to put sticks and so, and then I didn't have the chance to cook in it.
Now you do konku.
Milk konku. Me also no milk no so. You see can some milk no. And so I mean chrono. And it wasn't that. Debbie, and then you know you go to Amrejom to go pick nyane no my boy apamo and things and yet it's me chrono so. But there's a memory of I went to New Oxford.
Oh,
I was in New York. Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a set of twins for friends.
Okay.
Sylvia and Olivia.
They won't forgive you.
You know, I lost Sylvia. I know Sylvia and Ophelia.
Okay.
Oh, Sylvia and Ophelia. I lost Sylvia later on in life. But these twins were like my guardian angels. And you know when I said they were not talkers. They were the doers. And I was the talker. So then they'll fight for me.
Okay.
You know. And so I would go pick the fight.
You would have to move your daughter.
Why are you looking at? We have to sell.
Wait, I mean, away from mommy, just a moment. Have you not heard some of these stories before?
That one she hasn't.
No. So today's your first time hearing this.
And she said
that mommy was worrisome, troublesome, wahala child.
That's where I get it from.
That's where you get it from.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'd go pick the fight. Because my mouth will pick the fight, and then they'll do the fighting for me. And then one time I fell out with them, and I went to pick a fight. Oh, it was only God that saved me, because they would have beaten me up. Because the twins would fight for me, you know.
They were strong.
Oh yeah,
physically.
They were physically strong, and they were twins.
For Christ's sake.
Thank you very much.
Interesting. Now, like I was saying, you've had a very, remarkable journey in the gospel scene. Growing up, as you were springing, what were some of your biggest spiritual influences or people in the gospel scene that inspired you?
Okay, I'll take two things. When you said the first one, I knew who came to mind, because then that wasn't in the scene.
Okay.
In the industry. It was my father. Well, even pre my father, it was my grandfather when he taught me to read the Chi Bible. And around that same time was when I was in, when you said a fondest memory in Africa.
Yes.
I just remembered one.
Kache.
Oh my goodness.
Pacho Kache. don't leave with it.
So when we used to go to Sunday school. And on Children's Day, we are traveling.
We are on
our way to heaven. Only Christians can go there. So let us praise the Lord. Left foot, right foot. Anyway, you are Father Abraham. You do Father Abraham. Anyway, so I had just one socks. and that same socks would go to school Monday to Friday, and then I had to wash it on Friday evening for it to dry on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'll take it to church, and then the rest of the week I'd wear that socks for school. Anyway, if I ever forgot to wash it on Friday and forgot Saturday, it meant that on Sunday I was going to go to church with dirty socks, and then the rest of the week. So this particular Sunday was a children's day. We're going to do We Are Traveling. And I hadn't washed my socks. And I knew my grandmother was going to beat me up if she realized I hadn't washed it. So Smart DH washed the socks. And then I put in a towel and I squeezed it. And you know when that strategy. So when you do, you think it's dry. Because it gives you that euphoria. The feeling is Anyway, so I did that and I wore the socks.
Wash away.
And We Are Traveling. And my skirts didn't fit. My skirt was too loose. Whatever I wore was loose. Now here We Are Traveling. Oh, for Church of Pentecost. And I'm cold. So my nose is running. My socks is itchy. And my skirt is coming off.
Kai. Who's an idea anymore?
We are traveling. So work the maths.
You are really traveling.
And so I do a step. I scratch my feet, then I pull my skirt up, then I blow my nose. Then we are traveling.
You really traveled. You went to Jericho.
I remember it so well.
Okay.
And my grandmother was so crossed when she realized, because obviously I messed the whole thing up.
You traveled with the whole family.
I'm telling you.
I see.
But yeah, so my grandfather was a big influence on me. And there was a lady in our church too, Mama Bam. So, Mama. She sang a song. It's not her song, but she used to minister that song a lot. Her husband was Elder Safo. Mama Mama Manko The way she sang that song, just anytime that song comes to mind, she comes to mind. Then it was my father. Then it was my mother. And then obviously when we came into the industry, we saw when I started growing up into my teens and I started following gospel music, then Mary Ganza,
Auntie Mary,
was one of those, for how she had a band. She had a band that would sing and would play. And I remember one of her singers made such a great impression on me. I later found out that girl was actually Becky Bonnie.
Oh,
I
Auntie
know.
Becky.
Yeah.
She was with Auntie Mary's band.
Yes, she later told me I never knew. But now that she says it, she was the one. Because I remember her
voice rings a bell now.
And it wasn't about her voice, because at that time her voice wasn't that heavy. But it was her look. She was dark skin. She was a little plump. It was Becky. Anyway, but it was how she commanded the band in the absence of Mary Ganza. So for a while before Mary would come on, and it was Mary's worship songs that made an impression. I was really blessed by it. Then Daughters, for their consistency. This is in the Ghanaian circle, but internationally it's always been Sissy Winans.
Sissy. Yeah. Do you know you actually look like her when you have that curly hair?
I get that a lot.
You really look like her.
I get that a lot.
But people do not know that you're a trained nurse. How can they don't know that?
Then they don't know me. Then maybe they don't know me.
Growing up, was that what you really wanted to do? To be a nurse? When we are young, they'll ask us,
No. That's not what I wanted to do. At a point, I was so good at technical drawing that I was going to be an architect.
An architect.
I was so good that nobody took the award from me in Morning Star.
Let's say you're dying.
And it explains why just buildings get me excited. Like, Obi to me cause sightseeing. I can actually drive on a street just to look at houses. But that's me. And so if you tell me I'm moving house, as long as it's a bigger house than the one I live in,
you're happier.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'll move house every day if it's to a bigger house.
Right.
I think that's what it is. But there was that. And then when I finished secondary school, we were thinking of whether I'm going to go tech. And that day I was having a conversation with my father, and then a nurse walks in. She's a women's leader, and said to my father, "Man, I'm going nursing."
Oh, just like that, in passing.
Yes, just like that. However, after Morning Star and before going to secondary school, my mother's sister, the one who was just after my mother, had been diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer. And she was a nurse. And we adored Ma Elizabeth. She was the lady of the family. She was
prim and proper.
She was prim and proper. She was hardworking. She was beautiful. And she had come in to Accra for medical checkup and treatment and all of that. And then when she came, she didn't go back again. She was a nurse, so I had to then, that was the terminal stage of her cancer. And she taught me to nurse her.
Oh. And this was after that passing
that was before.
Oh.
That was before. That was way before. That was after. Actually, that was in Morning Star.
Okay.
While I was in Morning Star, which is JSS.
Okay.
That's when she was there. I injected her. She taught me to inject her, and I was only in JSS. And I nursed her. I dressed her wounds because she was a nurse. She taught me to nurse her. So then that compassion then came in. So strangely, when that woman, obviously I left Morning Star, went to Ghana National College, did my course and everything, came back, and on this fateful day when we were deciding on what to do, the woman said, let her do nursing. And I was like, okay. And that was just that.
That was just that. We'll be back.
When you have the extra bit of ambition in your heart, you also need that extra bit of energy to come through. And for that, Rush Energy Drink is the boost you need. Created in the USA and proudly made in Ghana. Thanks to its unique formula, you have the power of ginseng, the benefit of vitamins, and the energy of inositol, taurine, and caffeine. Stay active and energized.
After hours of planning, Kwame and Yao placed a perfect multi-bet. A big win on United and both teams to score in the London Derby. But Yawa, who could have picked Leicester over City? Or a high-scoring game at the London Stadium? But Kwame no dey shake. Unlike Yao, it did Bet Plus Betway. And with Betway's Bet Saver, he can win even if his bet misses. On multiple losses, he can get back his bets and more. Bet Saver, exclusive to Betway. Get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
Condos de la Chichi, it's luxury at its best. We have options to choose from for a perfect rest. Standard, studio, executive, or suites. The choice is yours to make. Luxurious living with kitchenettes for a stylish escape. We have bed and breakfast, laundry service, conference rooms for business, and leisure for you. The Los Angeles Lounge on the 4th floor has a high poolside view and entertainment as the sun sets in the sky. Locators at Santasi off April Road, a convenient and luxurious space. Condos de la Chichi, where luxury meets affordability. Contact us on 0509-268-723.
Malaria fever.
Agriculture is for everyone, and I dream of the day that everyone will have an agriculture, vocational, or technical story to share. My name is Araba Kumsin, and I welcome you to Ghana Grows Ejuma.
Join Araba Kumsing on YFM 102.5 every Monday at 8:30 a.m. for the Ghana Grows Ejuma broadcast. Don't miss Ghana Grows Ejuma broadcast on TV3 at 5:45 p.m. every Sunday evening. For more information on how to register for the Ghana Grows program, call the Springboard Call Center on 030-8255-775 or visit Springboard Zone or Ghana Grows on social media.
Ghana Grows Ejuma is brought to you by Mastercard Foundation in partnership with the Springboard Roadshow Foundation.
Let's go. There are beverages and there are beverages. Which one makes you tingly? Smart? Feel smooth or energetic? It's time to reward that specific beverage of your choice via Ghana Beverage Awards. Hurry now and nominate your preferred beverage via www.ghanabeverageawards.com. Nominations are open from 20th January to 28th February 2025. Ghana Beverage Awards is powered by Global Media Alliance in partnership with Perception Management International, Silverbird Cinemas, E-Productions, and our media partners, YFM, Happy FM, NYDJ Live, and YTV. Ghana Beverage Awards, inspiring excellence in Ghana's beverage industry.
Darling.
Yes.
Ye bedidina meche angel cola. Me bread do. Obi fa angel cola drink. Na ni yonku eyi angel orange. Ana angel mango. Ose me san pedi obi ye. Aka me dem.
Chese obi ape angel soft drinks ni nyina bi.
Aye, daddy. Me say me penny ni nebi.
Sister, wo de mama angel peach, angel strawberry, and na angel cocktail. Actually, no my budget angel apple lime.
What ye? Esani afuma de. Me say angel cola any angel orange pe na menya. Afei na nka. It's also from wifey for us chest no ebesi ha. Never angel drinks ni nyina agum. Obi ankata na ni no woni. De won sabe so mo no no anom.
Ani, na samasa. En no ano no.
De bia asani enya no. Angel cola de asemba bo. Angel drinks ya. I don't call soft drinks beverages limited. And why? Who to do afre one 0244 83 22 86 and 050 78 78 668.
Angel drinks
Taste like our day.
FDA ajeje den krato yatum.
Beauty is power, and a flawless look is your secret weapon. Get ready to turn heads and steal the spotlight, because Seg Glam Lounge is finally here. From gorgeous braids and sewings to personalized wig making, acrylic and gel nails, lip and chin wax, silk press, and the finest manicures and pedicures. Every service at Set Glam Lounge is designed to elevate your body. With unmatched precision and artistry, we don't just enhance your look, we perfect it. Because when it comes to beauty, you deserve nothing less than excellence. Locate us at Abena Kay King's Pub Filling Station, and let the transformation begin. Book your appointment now. Call 050-686-1614 or 0549-210132 or 059-1184-474. Follow us on Instagram at seg_glam_lounge.
Malaria fever.
To phone bia, any accessories for Sea-Wide Foods. A hot now papa. They go off of Sea-Wide Foods. Oh, bien see.
Made in Ghana Ray. Ghana Ray. Dress code Ghana wear. Food Ghanaian. Drinks Ghanaian. Music Ghanaian. Made in Ghana Ray. Chillin' and Kwan.
So we dware bedi mu pa dia ene na wo behia seminar etirediani ekrokro redie na ma redie nani ada ho kama wasra nkubia manase wo rediani wo pesemi na besiesie na ma ene na me kanfo medimix ayurvedic soup ena ma sa seminar etime kutia honam ani sansan bi ti se pimples ekro eyam ene nkaboni bia ewo honam no ho na empo ema redie ene toso prekope ye de hamama ene srade ahodro be ye dunwotwe na aka bo ma yenti e boredie ne ho ban na amanaye moto sakwada foforo ho nam ye woni bathing bar body wash face wash shampoos and conditioners ma ho nam nkasa ma ayurveda e wo medimix mo no enkasa ma wo pedudu etu a for 0570 770 805 and 0557 967 465 medimix bibia ni weti sa body ne nsa no ankasa.
You know that every Wednesday at 6 p.m. I have a conversation with someone whose story is highly impactful. And tonight, and then you remember Dinah Hamilton, no. And but get to our Facebook page. Share our Facebook CCA. Your Facebook page near Y1025 Kumasi. Or they call Facebook neighbor Y1025. And then DSC Wahanina, get to watch it. You can leave your comments there. I'll be reading them. Auntie Dinah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what when you say your music resonates with millions of people across the world, but you know every artist has that one song Bia on one kasa personally crown is very dear to him or her. Do you mind sharing with us any song of yours that means so much to you, and what story does it carry?
You know the thing with me by the grace of God and the songs that we write. Every song is dear to me, and I'm not saying that because you want everyone to appreciate all your songs, but it's because every song has a special place for me, and maybe because I write most of these songs.
Oh, you do?
Yes. They have special attachments to me, or I have special attachment to the songs. And so it's difficult to pick one and say this is the one that does it for me, because they all minister to me at different times and in different ways. Yeah.
But which song of yours made us know you? Rebecca said your hit song or your breakthrough song as an artist.
That's why these are the things, these are some of the reasons, or how do I even put it? When I'm counting my blessings, I count this, that my first album, my first song was Osrobe Kasa. And who in Ghana doesn't know Osrobe Kasa?
You know.
And so when I'm counting my blessings, I count these.
First album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what it did was, when we released that song, I lived in the UK when I did that song. And so the song was known. It took a while for the person behind the song to be known. So one would say the song went ahead of me. And Ghanaians knew I lived abroad. And Abrochefo thought I lived in Ghana. So I was lost in translation. That was just it. But the song was known, and they just couldn't marry the song and the person.
Right.
Then by NCWE, then people were then beginning to
put a face to
the name. Yeah. Yeah.
Gospel music isn't just about melodies, it's about ministry too. And how do you balance being an artist and being a vessel for God's message? It's one thing to sing, project that. I mean, because you are blessed to even write the songs, I'm sure it comes even pretty easier.
Not really. It's quite difficult.
Oh, but you write so you understand it better.
Yes.
Because you had the message, you know, it came to you.
True.
And then you sing it out.
Yeah.
And it's another taking us to God, you know, like being a vessel for Christ. How do you balance the two?
In that area, I don't think there's a difference as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
In terms of taking you to God and the message, for me, it's the same, because it's through that message that we both go to God. I don't take anybody to God. We go to God. It's like the word of God. It's not for one person. It's for all of us. So when the message comes, it's for all of us.
Right.
And so it's not difficult. It's not a problem, or it's not an issue to say we need to differentiate the message from the messenger. For me, that's what it is. The message and the messenger should be the same. When you want to talk of industry, this is where I think where the difference come in. Because for me, ministry, songwriting, the ministry, the singing, the message, together. Then there's the industry aspect, how we're able to push the message out there. What will let somebody hear my John 3:16, for God so loved the world? What will let 50,000 people hear it, vis-a-vis somebody's local branch, the channel through which this message goes?
Yes.
I.e. the industry.
Yes.
And we're blessed to have people that help. To be able to sit next to you to have this conversation is because of industry.
Right.
And so we are able to get help from management, from media, from professionals. We're able to get a good producer who would then be able to translate the pages of my life with chords and tunes to make sure that when you hear it, you appreciate it. Yeah.
And you've even almost answered the next question I had in mind. Talking about the industry, comparative to when you recorded Osrobe Kasa and now Onwangwani, how has the industry evolved in all areas?
So, we've evolved. Let me use myself as an example. When I was doing Ostrobe Kasa, I think I recorded the whole album in about 3 days. And I filmed because I was in Ghana for 5 days. Me di mutre no. Na mtwa video kan. Na mde ba ko tu kan fin kan be du Kumasi, na mde ba ko free Kumasi ko du nkran. Na me free plane am ko e. That was a computer era when everything was done on a computer. You could sit in your room, get a computer, obe drum or so, obe keyboard or so, obe guitar or so, obe any nyina or so. Now was Ostrobe Kasa time. If King David is here, he will know that. And so by Ostrobe Kasa, I don't even know whether we played anything live on the song. By NCWE, we had started introducing live instruments into that. So it had moved from just computer age to now, even though we're using computer to do it, we're playing the drums live, playing this, doing
so people
that.
get the experience.
Exactly. By Ostrobe Kasa, I had cassettes.
Okay.
When I released Ostrobe Kasa, we had cassettes.
This will be called Despite to
cassettes. Then at that time now, were cassettes and we're adding the CDs. By NCWE, we still had cassettes and CDs. By Ayawa, cassettes were gone and it was just CDs. By Work in Progress, it was CDs and pen drive. At that time, YouTube, so Ostrobe Kasa time, 2007 was when we opened. I had High Five. That time High Five was there. Okay, High Five. Oh, Jesus. High Five had come. Then Facebook came.
The app High. Oh,
yes, ma'am.
Please, I remember.
Yes, ma'am. So we did High Five. We did Skype.
Yes.
Then YouTube. I opened my YouTube page.
I didn't have the privilege to use one, but yes, I knew.
I wouldn't say I had to open. My husband opened YouTube for us in 2007.
Nice one.
And that's when it had started coming in.
Right.
And at that time, somebody would upload my video because we didn't have access to my videos. Then we started owning our own. So we did by Work in Progress. We had the album on a CD, but we could do pen drive. We had our videos out on YouTube. We were evolving.
Right.
And then we went and did Monio. After Monio, then we stepped into the singles. And then all that time, we do CD Baby, we do iTunes. But now it's more digital. It's online stores. And people now own it. And because of that, a lot of executive producers aren't even in the business anymore. But in those times, you had names, the Big Bens, the Despites, obviously King David.
Yes.
Trying to remember some. CBEX.
Okay, George Forrest, they're not yet.
Sound engineer producer.
Okay.
And Spoken producers, they were there. And now we shifted from there. We've seen the growth.
CBEX and so producing a man for pan.
Yeah.
At some point, you were off the music scene for a while.
I?
Like you said something that we thought you lived there.
Okay.
They thought you lived here.
Okay.
What was going on?
Oh no, I had just come out, and what made people, somebody will be share all the time, you'd like, events I would want to be on it. So they won't to Abuchi. And then Abuchi for no will meet you and go, because they thought I lived in Ghana.
Oh.
So that was it. But
why were they having that confusion?
Because you had to live in Ghana, or you had to those times when you were living in
Ghana and abroad simultaneously.
I was living in abroad.
Okay.
And I was doing music here. And my song was
the words are not coming.
It's there, but I'm careful with it. What somebody would call a hit would hit in Ghana, but you lived in.
Wow! When you're not hitting, what a baby.
And so, and those times for you to have a good song out there, you had to live here. And so, the Estamwakus would come and stay in Ghana for 6 months to promote their song.
Absolutely.
I didn't have that luxury. I couldn't afford to live in Ghana for more than 3 weeks.
What was stopping you?
Because I was a nurse.
Okay.
I had to work.
Right.
And at that time, my documents in the UK did not permit me to live outside the UK for more than 3 months in a year.
You're married then?
I was married.
Did you have your kids then?
I was sure Bekasa in Suyi. I didn't have my kids.
Okay, so it was just you, your husband, and your job.
And my job. But my documents did not permit me to live outside the UK for more than 3 months in a year, which meant that I had to divisible my time into different I had to divide the time. And so I had to come quickly, record the song, go back, and then find time to come promote that. And promotion, I had 3 weeks max to come and promote the song and then go. Then I'd come again, launch it and go. And so, but then people couldn't fathom how I didn't live here.
But your songs were making
doing
impact
well.
here. Yeah.
And so those there thought, oh, Otegan and Tina but then those that lived here also thought, oh, so because me ba because exactly Oceano Kamame next 2 weeks me over so much me next week. And so then they won't call you again because you are not here. Those were the things.
We are going to talk about our work experience in a bit, but so at what point did you decide that, you know what, I want to choose the ministry over the profession?
Did I ever even do that?
Are you still practicing now?
I am still practicing.
So in UK they know you as a nurse too?
Oh, of course.
Auntie nurse.
Yes,
and then so me joke answer now this I see.
Yes.
This is actually music to my ears.
Oh no, I still practice. I don't do as much hours as I used to do. So
which means that you've risen through the ranks.
Oh, yeah, try.
This I'm counting metana.
Oh, so the say no.
Me dia one more ne pen ne me koni ade ade ni na.
Yes, I'm one more no me pepe kan ma me cheche mu ye clear.
Let's
clear the
air. Emono pen is open contemporary.
Oh, Debbie nyam emono ho. Ne udi nsuo kra kam ho amedi.
Let's say we are mobile.
Thank you, but e bia ne se ne pen no ya botre.
Chechim.
Say I want na media.
No kwasem.
Me enchia nwam. Me enya nwam. Ne enchi kusua.
Choba no.
Kusua no mfa je ne ne manema nka ho. Anwam de ne de kusua no nko a. No atwi meko. Me mpehyeto.
Okay.
Meko kokko no nko a.
No kre.
Shishi na wo don say ni.
Fanto scram fra.
O de tomato ka ma je ne nko.
Okay.
Eno ya anwam.
Ya pegale kuma bi wo mana.
Debi.
Okay.
Meko
ne jeni be
bring jinja ketwe bi kam na chikusua na be miensa bebom ne fatu anwa
Dina entry Hamilton.
Thank you.
Nti kosia ba ku bia ye din ba
ena anwa mo no so no so chi jeni no wetin ku bia anwa ye
okay
person as all the ordinary anwa na be dia midway through it at bata kakra fagutum wa hu nesa me kan se hunu say ano say yes.
We listen, we don't judge.
Okay,
we listen, we don't judge.
And that is one one. Say rice and stew so I was say zongo kind of stew no.
Ko na say ya diache udi kind tomatoes
no me red stew no. I was set me the bed 3 days na no me red stew no.
Okay.
Tell say muche. Na one no amu. E mo no me no amu enka say being 30 minutes and sana medi. I was someone being ya na no. No one me plates. No one say mo na guso. Now the red stew na ye zongo de na guso. Na fe wo the salad I cold.
Sentina enyom no ekwa no. Na wo di zongo mo aba betro no ma empire. What's that? Entina matiase. I want to start music. I'll start eating the zongo stew. Interesting. Now the experience is one of the biggest gospel shows in Ghana. When we are listing powerful or impactful gospel concerts in Ghana. I say this not because you're here, with a lot of confidence that first 5 or best or known 5 gospel concerts, their week or their experience with Diana Hamilton makes it. In fact, I have all the confidence to say that it may even pass between the first 3.
We thank God.
Share with us the birth of the vision.
So by the time I was doing Ostrobe Kasa in Siuye, pre those songs, I was your church girl that sang in Church of Pentecost and would lift worship, would lift praise. And I knew how the atmosphere changed when we had the chance to lift songs in church. Then we released Ostrobe Kasa, and when we never had the chance to do an event. If we had to do an event, it was going to be an album launch. And at these launches, it was all about the hit song on that album that raise funds, because the idea of the launch was to get a bit of cash to push the song. And so you promote the song a bit, then you do an album launch, and at the launch we're in a rush to raise funds. And so you did the song, and that was it. And I wasn't satisfied. There was that hunger in me
to go beyond
that and take us to church. What the experience we had in church when we lifted worship, the experience we had in church when we had praise, that thing that made people lay on the floor to worship wholeheartedly. I yearned for that day. Didn't know if it was possible and when it was going to be possible. So we did Ostrobe Kasa. We did in Siuye. And then between Siuye and Ayawa was when I got pregnant with the twins. And then I met my management, 1615 Media. And they approached and said, we want to manage you. And we're like,
so
what?
Before then, how were you going about
King David was my executive producer.
Okay.
And he was managing me here.
Okay.
In Ghana.
Right.
But I didn't have an international manager.
Okay.
So in the UK was when 1615, Uncle Charles and the team came to me.
Right.
And said, we want to manage you. One of the questions we asked him was, what are you bringing to the table? What are we doing differently? And then they started talking, telling us what they think I need to do. What, in the order of how they want things to go. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And auntie, you need to have your own event. And I laughed.
Until you asked, now why never?
In my mind, I was like,
why never?
Yeah. And anyway, even in the, that was the other thing. And I remember something Uncle Charles would say, auntie. So then he said it and threw it in there. And then we started. And then, you know, he'll get a gig, he'll call you, you go do it. At that time, we're going into a studio. They made a Nigerian producer produce some songs for me. We started working. And then he started handling my social media as well.
Okay.
So he had access to my Facebook. And that's when he started talking gibberish. Because he would say, auntie, the analytics show that you have a following. And he would go, auntie, the analytics show that you have to do, let's do an event. So we hosted a first event in London. The first, and they would say, let's ticket the event. Yeah, and ticket a gospel ticket. So we did a first one in Canada Water. It was a different venue, not my church.
Just to chip this, was your fear that people didn't know you enough, or that you underestimated your prowess?
Yeah, I'm kind of say is both of the two of them together combined. You know, and so they were like, oh, let's do this. I didn't know who was going to come, but we started, got tickets. My church people bought it, my manager's church people bought it. We put it on social media, and then we had Ohima Mercy. We invited Ohima Mercy to come to London,
right?
And we did that, and it was a success. People turned up.
Which year was this?
Yes, because I had the twins.
Okay.
No, 2011. It was 2011.
So they were pretty younger.
Oh yeah, they were born in December 2010, and we did this around May, June. It was summer. It was a beautiful weather. So yeah, let's give it summer. So summer 2011, we did Canada Water, and that was good. Then,
do you remember how many people were in attendance?
Maybe 500 people. Yeah,
for a first concert.
For a first concert, maybe 500.
Even unsure of.
Yeah. I was like, okay, all right, that's fine.
I pick it.
And then we went on, and that was when it was after that we released the Yevoa. And then after that, we did Work in Progress. Yehowa Beshe. When you come home. And then when we were about to launch Work in Progress, was when we were like, you know what? Actually, between Canada Water and Work in Progress was when it then dawned on us. Uncle Charles, Auntie, let's do this event.
Let's go to the motherland.
It wasn't motherland yet.
Oh.
We went, this was a 500-seater auditorium we had done in Canada Water. Successfully. So then we did a 1,005-seater auditorium in London.
Okay.
That was a first experience.
Okay.
We didn't ticket that because the hall we did it in, we were not allowed to ticket.
Okay.
The laws, they don't allow us to ticket.
But you paid for the hall?
Oh, well, it was my church.
Okay.
So they didn't charge me huge.
Okay.
But stage lighting, sound, band, we paid for all of that. And then we did a bit of fundraising. And that, I didn't like that because I wanted it to be an atmosphere of worship.
Yes.
1,000, 500.
Yes.
When we got there,
free to serve,
free to worship. But it was a huge success, and I had the chance to do songs that I wasn't restricted, as in just my songs, public domain. We lifted worship, we did praise, and I absolutely enjoyed it. It was on that night we did that song, Ohine Yeshira, one of the first songs we had on YouTube, and that was great. Then after that, I released Work in Progress,
right? And
we're about to launch Work in Progress. We thought, you know what? Any experience from Work in Progress relaunch. So the first experience was 2014. Then 2015 Work in Progress came. We did the launch with another experience.
Okay.
I find my manager, I feel the excitement. I feel the analytics. No, it's analytics. No, and I got an analytics.
Where's your manager?
Original.
You are shading him. You are shading him.
When it's what you say, Obaya sports journalism and I'll be hosting Wow TV and our radio show. Upaso DJ, newscaster, TV cameraman, video editor, web design, and our social media publicist. And you're baby also with you and Titie. Let's say Franco Media Institute. Say Franco Media Institute. Yabia Ghana Education Service. Ajuantum. Say Hona journalism Titie na. Yejedo. And to say sports presentation and commentary, news writing and casting, music and DJing, program hosting, marketing and event promotion. Say Franco Media Institute. Photography, camera handling, and our TV production, video editing, MCR, directing, and post-production. Visit ASF Franco. About graphic design, the web design. When it's a Franco Media Institute, a Ninkomo or studio, what are your practicals? Hostel facility or maybe a better new problem. Now attachment are open. A guaranteed admission cost in the year. Fred 0244 705 112 and 0505 449144 or Bantama High Street Noso and in National Health Insurance no.
Amuzu garlic bitters mamoja dia frusani ye blood pressure any cholesterol kofom eyi sciatica yaw eyema stroke ayarefo emam pomuden wani ehuna de ye sugar level kofom utumi ehome ye amuzu garlic bitters tumi mawo dan na ho ebi wo herbal any pharmacy shop mu
Yemma wakwaba eba Eclipse Collateral Management ejuma kwostron kwa yemma wanya wadwapade nkrata ho mfaso wonim se wadwapade nkrata ekuta wo no ebetumi asesa wo daache yesesa emfasode a ejwapade wuranom etumi enya ewo no wadwapade nkrata ho ene nyuma wuranom nso ebenya frɛ wadwapade ahodo a yedi sia bowa ede apesika ede abo wo nyuma ahodo enti se ope prime brokerage collateral brokerage credit brokerage ene land document perfection services a mayamfa nyonko ewo Eclipse yewo prime depository platform bia ahobambo bumu ya de fofora ejapade awuranom etumi de won krata ekoto ho na wonya sika esem bia ni ho na ye de sankrata yi ebo nyumaku ahodo a wo pe besia de afrisika kwabia ho ye bobosia ho no ba ebo manyuma awuranom nya sika de trewo nyuma mu ye de bosia bo hwehwemu a emu do na ye mapa ene si egina ye enti wonim se wo wonsa ahobambo bumu entwentwa so hwehwenye nkira kwan ewo adentam barrier ye be medimosis ayaresabia no ewo West Africa Eka SHS Afasio nun chempe Franyensesia 0543-842466 Wo Eclipse Collateral Management. For property owners, we say think safety and decent income. And for businesses, we say think funding before projects.
The first race to start the party year. Celebrating cultures, heritage, and connections in Kumasi. Come slay in your best Ghanaian fashion as we celebrate Ghana's birthday this year. Come on! YFM and AQ3 Event Center brings you the Made in Ghana rave. Best Ghanaian everything like food, drinks, music, and lots of games. We're doing shooting, volleyball, arrow throw, FIFA Supreme Gamer, and giveaways. Let's party hard with the best DJs and MCs in the city. Date is the 7th of March 2025. Venue is the AQ3 Event Center, Diamond Hills, Denja Morsel. Time is 10 a.m. till you want to leave. And I doubt you can, cause the party's gonna be fire. The Made in Ghana rave. Rate is 200 Ghana cities. Get your tickets by dialing *713*33*25#. Made in Ghana rave. A party you cannot miss. Powered by YFM and AQ3 Event Center.
Kabi atakum. Messi chenwa o chenwa so jina park so. Kabi atakum. Awurade. Adroni.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're still listening to Leaderboard Series right here on YFM 102.5 Kumasi. From Abena Kay Yiadom. I am seated with Dinah Hamilton, and it's been very fulfilling interview yet. We are still on. But if you're watching us on Facebook, Kunyanko Facebook, please make your way to Facebook right now, okay? Get to our Facebook page at Y102.5 FM, at Y102.5 FM. Come and watch all the action and glamour there on Facebook. Let me say a big shout out to NK Splendor Beauty Salon. They've been making me up. The Biame Kwabo. Adame Hwanye fe na omuni mo he. Emfa nkoshe omo. But Adame Hwanye fe bia meeting me makeup is handled by NK Splendor Beauty Salon. Amo ahudun share so. I just sent the golf back. Anti Diana matese omo kra na. Ese ombabe enyo ba kumien bi kra ma. Sana matete konkonsabi ni na. Are you in good hands?
We're on the streets. That's nice.
So NK Splendor Beauty Salon is available to make you up for your weddings, your parties. Baby a ukobia o pesa o makeup. Your wigs, amount, best stylist, so amount. And we see in Jaima NK Splendor Beauty Salon. Again, I love jewelry. I love them. So me yam the bisika na weto go the gumensa so. Me na nye yam into go di Sparkify. Lawyer Benedicta Freddy Ajimai. Also on your law no kwano beye. We see home so. Inti we be a jewelry shop e Kumasi ha. Anti Diana me do be ko ho. Me senya wo schedule niti. But I was say me de ukutwa si wo ho. Na wanka say senya woni ni ade efe. Ene wo pe life no. Ura ho say ya.
Ebe pick ya ma me wo ho.
Obi a me say anka de me nkan so. Me was surprise ma. And I was saying they will cost Specify now ko show any swadi. Me say Niema Kruman Kasa Asmade earring and remember you see a mom lapel kakra and mom wristwatches kakra obi abenya ne de.
That's nice.
Inti omo classic Guinness Junction eho lawyer nankasa mate so ti abontin ho twen.
Oh wow.
Inti Specify is always there to dress you up. Everything jewelry. Please head to Specify. Earrings, wedding rings, life rings, necklaces, wristwatches, all accessories. Let Specify handle them. Find them at Kasi Guinness Junction. Baby, Kasi Methodist in Wanehua. You can reach them out on any of these numbers 0533 346762 or 0533 33 8773 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Sperkyfy, spelled SPERKYFY. Lady D.
Yes, ma'am.
You were talking to me about your manager and his analytics. Now,
I know.
Now, fast forward. At what point am I Madrid said we was here at the Bagana?
Yeah, that year. Now, London is when he started saying the analytics show that we have a following in Ghana, and so we should come and do it.
Prior to your first concert in Ghana, how were you feeling? And take us through some of the preparations that went through, because yayewa bruche afade bon say Ghana for
sa
amade say yenyanso mutwitwa
no kwasem
ya na asana nipa ne beji watum ohia ne yama bebre.
True.
And so what were some of the preps that went into
I think we saw and spoke to people that had events in Ghana.
Okay.
Remember we spoke to Denzel Prempe.
Okay.
Who used to have events in Ghana. And then obviously King David has also been in the industry for a while. He had been in the industry for a while. So we knew who to go for sound and stage. Okay. Plus, because we had promoted songs, we had access to media houses.
Right.
But God was so good. Anywhere we entered, there was someone who knew or had a kind of help to give us, and they all came together and made it great. And so we had the first event, and obviously we had the Church of Pentecost also give us a great support. We held our first experience at the National Theatre in Accra, and that was a huge success. And that's what gave us the confidence the following year to bring it to Kumasi and add Accra to it. And so it was the first event was just Accra National Theatre. The second we did National Theatre, and then the CCB Auditorium at Tech. It was from that National Theatre we got the live video of Work in Progress, which then kind of took off. And then made the experience what it is.
The first show in Ghana, did you ticket it?
Yes.
Were you skeptical about
I was
how
scared.
they were?
I was scared. I was scared, not just skeptical. I was. But it was good.
Would you say Ghanaians blew your mind?
They did.
How
they continue to. They continue to. Last Sunday at ICGC Christ Temple.
Yep. We'll talk about that briefly. But now, partly you lived in London, partly you came to Ghana. You were going to start a live concert. How did you start your band?
That's a good one. So PL Crew was a band on its own that were here. And Uncle Charles then spoke to them. It was then headed by Sana, who now doesn't live in Ghana anymore. But we spoke to them, and they were excited to work with us. And so that was it. And since then we've been working together since with PL Crew. And we gave them our songs. We had rehearsals with them. I was in Ghana for 6 weeks straight, just to work towards the experience then.
We saw some footages of last Sunday, and let me ask you, who came up with the idea of your entrance?
I want to sign a disclaimer. That wasn't me. That was Bludo, my music director.
Well, then a 21 gun salute going out to him.
I know. It was beautiful.
That was brilliant.
Yes. I mean, okay. So let me also take some flowers. It's something we had wanted to do. Some time passed. Last year we did just the choir, but this year we spoke about is it possible to do brass band? But then I didn't know whether we were going to have them on stage the whole time. And then Bludo was like, we'll do the brass band, but for just the opening song. And let's give that 21 gun salute to Bludo. It
was beautiful.
Yes.
And I saw the videos, I saw the pictures. Ghanaians turned up.
They did.
They came. I would say they came more than Indian numbers.
I know.
Those of us that were not there, we couldn't wait for you to get to Kumasi. As soon as you entered the stage and you cited all these believers, all these worshippers, all these even non-believers who are here to have an experience with God through your ministry, what was going through your mind?
At that point, it was a do or die. You drew us idea. I am so if you can see, I walked straight onto the stage, to your picked the microphone, and I started singing. Because at that point, it was people of God willing to worship, and I willing to worship, willing to praise, willing to pray. And so, no time to think of at that point it was God and us, and that was it.
Okay,
that was it.
But every year, it's more than a success. How have you managed to keep the pace and the growth and the greatness? But before that, let me also add that your fashion sense has also incredibly evolved over the years.
Oh dear. Tell me about it.
What's going on behind the scenes that we don't know, and what are we to expect in the years to come?
You know what? When God gives you an assignment, He gives you help.
Okay.
It got to a point I wasn't, initially I was keen on what I was going to wear, and then it got to a point when ministry became so important to me. Like, I had so much on my plate that I wasn't going to worry about what I was going to wear. Then God brought my sister, who then took so much interest, Adelaide, who I managed DH by DH with.
Okay.
And she'd call Auntie. Then I'm like, Adelaide, I don't know what I'm wearing. And then she'll take it upon herself, and then she'll come up with something, and I've become so lazy now. Now I just allow DH by DH to sort me out. Or I come to Funke, who is in Kumasi. Funke Adebs. Yes. And I just, and then now my daughter draws for me too. Oh yeah.
Auntie. You draw for me too.
And so we it's just, so that's the fashion side. These days I hardly worry about that, what I wear, but I kind of trust the hand of those that make it for me. So I'm good. But
on the other side,
the other side of, Father, what are you going to do again? What next? How different is it going to be? Stuff like that. The human side of you gets worried. But then the God in you kicks in and say, it's not your job,
exercise
it's my
some
job.
faith and not fears.
And then we're good to go. Yeah.
What goes into selection of artists to join you?
Oh, a lot.
We know that, yes, you're seasoned. Of course, everyone you bring on to is also spirit-filled. And we appreciate that you sometimes you bring them to us, and it gives that nostalgic feeling. What goes into the selection of the various artists?
We come to that table. Sometimes we come, stay on the phone hours. We're like, Obianko Jane Honombra. We go, we come back. Whilst we've gone, behind the scenes, this one is in, how about this one? Because we have prayed. We prayed about it.
Absolutely.
And then we pray about it. We pray about it. Then we meet. Then we discuss. Then everybody will bring names, and then this one will go, okay, for this year's theme, I don't think this one is right. Then we're like, okay, let's hold on. I think this is perfect. Then we're like, oh, numbers not do so, because we don't want to overpack the night. And so we don't have a long list on a night. I remember in Accra, I was scheduled to be on stage at 7. At 6 o'clock, my MC Chebwete walked and said, sis, I'll put you on stage earlier than 7. I was like, glory be to God. It didn't work, but because he knew that the way they were going, everybody was keeping to time and things were working fine. In the end, I was able to go on stage around 7, but he thought he was going to put me on earlier than that because we don't have a long list. And we give people time. We don't want people to overstay the night.
Yes.
And we also don't want people to rush. I don't like to use the word, this one will pass through. It's an experience. It's not. And so when you come on stage, you know your set time and you're ministering within that time. So we bear all these things in mind when choosing who should be on. And the thing is, after long discussions, when we come to an agreement and we pick a phone to call the people, it's beautiful. We don't get any hesitations. We don't get any, I'll call you back.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah, it's the excitement. That's when we know that this was meant to be.
This Sunday, we're having that week experience. Tell us about it. Why do we have to be there this year?
Hey,
at all costs.
Move.
But we need a reminder again of how much we are going to experience God's move. And then why did you choose to name this year's theme The Move?
It was last year it was our 10th anniversary.
Okay.
And one of my biggest fears is complacency.
Okay.
And so I don't want to be comfortable. When I'm comfortable,
something must challenge you.
I'm worried.
Okay.
And so after the 10th year, I prayed to God. I would ask God, what next? But this time my prayer was, Father, enlarge my coast, enlarge my territory. And God, through his word, said to me, you have dwelt on this mountain for too long. Now break camp and advance. And so the word move came from that. It was just going to be too long to say break camp and advance. Hence we use move. But it's God telling us to expand our horizon, to move and to break all the walls that hold us back. And so more reason why we're doing Sunyane this year. More reason why we're adding New Jersey. And we're trusting God to even spread more.
And so Rebecca said, "Send wako aba Kumasi, waka Accra, uko Sunyane." Then and say we send ka other regions nini na so.
And you know because Kashology ne ba.
Enterprise life. Any awake.
Yeah,
tell them. Freme, give me a call now on 0246807545. And today, answer our callers. Who are we expecting this Sunday together with you to take us on a move with God? And what time does it start?
Okay.
Where are we getting the tickets?
Good.
Pesa will be better actually.
I know. But the event is this Sunday.
Sunday we are
4 p.m. The gates open. Event starts. 4 p.m.
And remain on 9.
The event will start. The people on the bill: Uncle Ato, Cindy Thompson, Kwame Jedu, Mabel Ochery, and then myself, and 2 other surprises we're putting on. And so that's for that. And anybody that wants to get a ticket, because tickets are going for 80 Ghana cedis standard. The double is going for 150 Ghana cedis. VIP is going for 200 Ghana cedis. And then family of 5 is going for 350 Ghana cedis.
Auntie, ticket ni here but
so the ticket
bar 80 Ghana cedis. And no standard. Okay.
We are standard and no 150.
Okay.
Per VIP, we me per front. Some mommy awake phone soon, some mommy momo towels, no enterprise for gifts, no near dear and no 200. And I'm we nipa 5. More come one pum no man ticket a bar, but so 350.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's so cool,
sir. Intino and that any ticket prices no open tickets ni biatwa. 3 ways you can get the ticket.
3 ways.
Bakuya o dial star 725 star.
Auntie Dana, me had a number say perfume rice. Star
725 star 8080 hash
8080 hash star 725 star 8080 hash. Not follow prompt no.
But so I see because you had 3 cities, you know. Then you choose Kumasi.
Right.
Then you're good to go. See, I know you're 1.
Okay.
Say person be you see phone now because on all networks you can use that.
Network be
a bit me you see. You can also go to a ticket outlet. Ticket outlets no poku trading will be
and edum
ya ubenya bi asokwa shell okay sunyane bekwai runabout in the shell no ubenya bi roundabout bekwai runabout shell ubenya bi and a rich shell so ubenya bi
okay
sa outlet ubenya bi then the second option poku trading asokwa bekwai runabout shell rich shell ubenya bi
okay
last option to come to the gate Abantama on Sunday.
And then me sure say
in fact
mami ntufu mami she camera ni mami ntufu me do for etie what as me see wo pese wo tenani mu na hu anti dina we be say fili
gadochi
and try me to gate na nya de ye twama wo abeto to e gate na wa betenani mu ensi yato nti bomodi ase free na e wukwada buy start buying it even before Sunday. Now ubani kasa san we utwin kawenche you. It's a okona ko show utot online ticket now any top pounds and say why should we abuchi for na he. It's a show pa.
We'll be more information so they can dial 054 690 7473
054 690 7473.
Yes.
Ofra. All right, let's get on Facebook now. Joseph Kwabna Nkrumah says, I am Kwabna. I am an Adventist, but I love her song so much. And Enoch Owusu Ediomi says, Mrs. Hamilton, I cannot wait to see you on Sunday. You have been a blessing to me and my family, and we're watching you live from Kwadaso North, near the 4BN barracks. I see Golden Frimpong watching. I see Usuansa Castiva watching. Let's get on the phone lines right now. I see Real K2 also watching. Let's see. Hello, good evening. Sit down, let's say. Radia do me who dimpa. Nice one, Auntie Dinah too.
Why?
Amen, amen, amen. Let's check out our next caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Tina, let's say. Mr. Unfree Radio no kakra ma na enim komo.
Hello.
Right, if I say
Jido calling from Odium.
Nice one. Patrode na pesa catch Dinah Hamilton.
Oh, Auntie Dinah, na me shop every day bia me tie onyum. Anope bia me menti onyum me ntimi nko adwuma. Anope bia me bo onyum Odium ta ansana move akọ adwuma. Intino, you know about the bow. I'm a human now. I'm a more bye bye.
Amen. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because you're hearing him. Let me take two more callers. Auntie Dinah break. Make sure say no bedru ya. And I mean who so call Assemblies of God. Auntie Beba. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Abena Kay Yiadom, good evening.
Yes, sir, net to say.
May the meditations of my heart be assembled unto you.
Hey, catch it.
Auntie, please be the source of my motivation since childhood. Auntie Dinah, I really love you so much. Baby, position
Sunday, Church of Pentecost, Bantama.
They are so my daily. I had to take it in this year, but Sunday,
what do you feel saying I say childhood now?
Abena Kay Yiadom 25.
Any penny I do football agent and I'm so home. And I meditations. Why? There's a medimosis now who counts a day. She. Moka home, what it? Moka home. Auntie Dinah almost open bro for you crowd.
Oh, and you brought for you must answer.
Bro for some. I know
most of you make it cry.
So you got guy kakra.
Sano moka.
Nantie, uba stage.
Catch almost a new.
It's been an eventful day talking to you, an eventful evening. But Mami Bissau, as we are, concluding, did you face any challenges because you're a woman in this industry? And then finally, if there is anybody, anabemubu, it will be BMU Abrabuma. The person can be Bia, Yenteda, Editreni Pakro. To be a quite be able to diner. Ananya Casa. Won't kwa shed them no soon. Na kawunu nyanko ponkwa ba obeti nyum biti se adom beti nyum biti se meditations me kwade me favorite onwanwani ni se na me catch se na nia wo pen na wo ye udin no honam se and that speaks a lot to me about Christ because so be the nipa pen na nyame yanka Sena watamfu be unka so be unka you be tamfu. Say something to the broken-hearted listening to you.
I'll answer your first question. Say, have I faced any challenge? Because I'm a woman. By the grace of God, I've been okay.
And why I like you industry nimpa?
I've been okay.
When should I cry ni hakra na nyom nafa? When should also be also me underground artist babe 20 years. Now one song would be
Send it will be also a breath. Send maybe as Ebianka would have pushed it more.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And, it's a matter of owning your space and owning your circumstances and working hard. And whoever is listening to me now, whatever you're going through, I can tell you with all confidence that God is still in the miracle working business.
Amen.
And He's still a prayer answering God. And omani bro so mauso. And I tell you this, that when you think say we dear abrosono, it's your cue that you are almost there. And so don't give up. Trust in the Lord. Say omani bro so mausuntino. This one too shall pass. He stands by his word to perform it. And he should bring you peace if you need one. May he bring you healing if you need one. May he bring you salvation if you need one. And may he grant you grace to go through these difficult times. And thank you for having me.
From melodies to ministry, Dinah Hamilton has shown that music is more than just a sound. It's a calling. And her journey is proof that grace and hard work and purpose can take you places you've never imagined. And speaking of that, her annual concert experience, like we've been talking about, is happening this very Sunday at the Church of Pentecost, Bantama. Showtime is 4 p.m. So it's not 3 p.m. What? Na intumim quantum, what you say. And so be at the Church of Pentecost Bantama Auditorium, a host pa in Tebefani Pabibri, intimate Nefin Casabana Huayama. You can be a part of it. And as always, it's going to be a time with the Lord. Don't miss this, encounter. Auntie Diana, thank you for coming.
Thank you
I want to
so
say
much.
Special thank you to Uncle Dave. Pressure, I'm saying my man pressure, and to your husband. I see him all the time supporting you everywhere. Let me say thank you to him on your behalf. Thank you, say.
Thank you.
And your beautiful babies, your bloggers, in fact, the entire team. And the analytics man.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Abena Kay Yiadom, and it's been a pleasure serving you tonight. I came through with Dinah Hamilton. I hope you had an experience. So we look forward to seeing you this Sunday. Next week, Wednesday, a friend say, I was over. And yes, I want to one must say, I was over. And next week, I recap crack of how the show went and Sunday and you'll be in Kobo. Just before I go, the Hill Confanochi project is still on. Monsieur Mo, Confanochi, dear, you'll be at the brew, will be a bit to me a quackodaho, intimate part show. Monsieur Ye, Momo number no, a 0544 195 525. 0544 195 525. Monsieur Bibi kakra bi ase te kuse sempwa send kakra kwate na yemfa mwana konfanoche emfa ntuma pa emfra medase yebesha next week. Have a blessed evening.
Hey Linda, long time oh.
Yes, so I haven't seen you since we completed school.
Hey, but wait oh Linda, did you win the lottery? I mean